Have you ever experienced a leaking faucet, then immediately sought the services of your local plumber? Or maybe a clogged sink, and even worse, a clogged toilet which left you in a frenzied panic and quickly ushered the plumber to fix it? Since it's their jobs, plumbers will definitely answer your call. But sometimes the solution to your problem is simpler than you think. Without further ado, here are some basic plumbing skills your plumber wish you knew. Locate your main shutoff valve. Starting today's list of tips is one most of us should be familiar with, and that's knowing the placement of the main shutoff valve. In more than several instances, people tend to panic when water starts gushing out of nowhere from broken faucets and leaking pipes, and to stop the water flow, you just need to turn off the main shutoff valve. Depending on your home, it may be placed in different locations, but if your home is on a concrete slab, then there's a chance that it's located near the water heater or under the kitchen sink, while for some it's located out under a round or rectangular cover that's close to the street. If your house has a crawl space, it may be placed near the front of the house or wall. Keep in mind that depending on where it's located, you may need special tools to access the valve, so it's also important to keep a set of plumbing tools in your home. Do not pour grease down the drain. Another thing your plumber wants you to know is that you don't pour grease of any type or oil down the drain. Sure, you think that since it's liquid, it will flow and flush away in the sewers, but that's not the case. Unknown to many, oil and grease hardens over time and can lead to clogs in your pipes. But there are far more important concerns when grease mixes with other non-biodegradable fluids, which can become a waste in the form of a hard consistency, which researchers call fatbergs, which are like icebergs of fat in the sewer. When they become fatbergs, they can cause a bigger problem for the community, which will entail expensive plumbing works in the future. Rather than throwing the grease and oil down the drain, pour it in used cans or coffee jars. Seal it, then dispose of them in the garbage. Know what products you can flush. We've said it time and time again, but don't flush any sanitary products down the toilet, but aside from that, keep in check what you're flushing down the drain. Some products may be labeled as flushable, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they will be broken down thoroughly. Most of these will still end up as chunks that can clog the pipes. We know you've heard of this before, but always keep a garbage bin in your bathroom for things like wipes, sanitary napkins, plastic covers, and sachets of hygiene products to throw into. Another thing, it's true that toilet paper can be dissolved, but be mindful of how much toilet paper you're flushing and, if possible, throw it into the garbage can instead. Be mindful of the chemical fluids you're using. One of the worst and common problems every household has experienced more than a few times is clogged sinks. Before calling your local plumber, most of us would try and solve this problem by pouring a chemical draining fluid to flush out the cause of the blockage. Although using these chemicals results in clearing the pipes, did you know that these chemicals are more likely to cause more harm than good in your pipelines? Unknown to many, some of the ingredients in these fluids can break down these pipes. So rather than rely on chemical fluids whenever the sink gets clogged, it's better to practice prevention by not throwing things that can block your drain in the first place. Learn how to use plumber's tape. Otherwise called a teflon tape or thread seal tape, a plumber's tape is used to seal pipe threads to create a watertight seal between joints and also lubricate the connections of joints. There are different types of tape for gas and water pipes, so it's best to identify what type you'll be using on your pipe. Some of us more or less have an idea on how to use teflon tape, but for better usage, here are some tips you can use next time. When cleaning the threads, make sure you start on the second thread from the end, and it's best to thoroughly clean the threads before using them. When it comes to wrapping the teflon tape, it's important to wrap in the same direction as the threads and make sure that the tape is flat, not scrunched or bunched up when you're going to wrap it. Later, we'll share with you a certain product that you should quit using in your bathroom, and when you do call over a plumber to fix your pipes, make sure to schedule it not on this particular day. Keep on watching to find out more. Don't over-tighten fittings. Now that we all have a better grasp on how to use Teflon tape, another piece of information everyone needs to know is not to over-tighten the fittings. Most people would tighten a connection if they found it leaking, but over-tightening connections is one of the most common mistakes in plumbing. By doing so, there's a chance you could crack the threaded nut or ruin the rubber seals. It's best just to start by making the fitting finger tight and not give it more than about 1/8 of a turn with pliers beyond that. Don't overuse your garbage disposal. Another important fact that most plumbers wish their clients knew is to mind your garbage disposal. Sure, it's easy to get rid of rubbish and clutter by throwing them all out of the garbage can. If you think the garbage disposal can handle all of your trash you're throwing in there, you're dead wrong. For starters, don't throw your unfinished food in it. There's a limit to what the garbage disposal can break down, so before dumping it down, turn it on fully and try to break down what you're throwing in. Another tip is to make sure to toss several pieces of ice into it to help clean the garbage disposal. Know your plungers. A piece of common plumbing equipment we see in households is plungers, which are used to clear a blockage in drains or pipes. It's sometimes called a force cup or a plumber's friend and has different types for different uses, namely the common sink plunger or the cup plunger, toilet plunger or flange plunger, and an accordion plunger. Obviously, you don't use a toilet plunger on your sink, but using plungers is effective in removing small clogs. If you're suffering from a stubborn toilet clog, one tip to ease this problem is to pour some degreasing dish detergent in boiling water. Let it sit in there for a bit before you use the plunger to maximize its effectiveness. You can even rub petroleum jelly along the rim of the plunger. If these tips don't work, it's best to call a plumber and not resort to using caustic drain cleaners. These cleaners have toxic chemicals in them that can damage your pipes, and if these are damaging to the pipes, then you should know full well that these cleaners are harmful to you once inhaled or if it gets in your eyes or skin by accident. Don't mindlessly drill on your walls. This tip is something some of us most likely overlook, especially when moving to new places, but if you plan on drilling into your walls, make sure you check to see if it's clear from pipelines. We know that some of us are very fussy over the interior decorations of our homes, but before everything, it's always best to check where the water and sewer lines are, as well as the electrical lines before you start renovating your place. It doesn't cost a dime to check the sanitary layout of an area, but it does cost a lot to renovate a drilled pipe. If you're already a plumber, running your own business, or just about to start and grow your own plumbing business, you must learn the 4 critical things plumbing business owners wish they had learned before starting a plumbing business, so you don't make the same mistakes. Plumber Accelerator has put together a free training video that you can watch right now that will show you exactly how to start, grow, and build your plumbing business the right way, so you can consistently guarantee profitable work, free up your time, all whilst reducing stress levels and allowing you to have a sustainable and more profitable business that works for you. In this free training video, you will also learn how to generate a steady stream of jobs on demand and with predictability month after month in your local area without relying on word of mouth and referrals, how to stop competing on price with other plumbers and escape your competition, how to convert at least 90% of your quotes and estimates into sales, and how to command premium prices and attract high-quality customers that will be happy to pay more. Click on the link in the description below the video. And with that, we're wrapping up today's episode of Things Your Plumber Wishes You Knew. Until the next episode, thanks for watching.